Today, we're looking at Marvel Snap without Series 4 and 5 cards in the game. In this week's community battle from the official Marvel Snap Discord server, we can only use these cards from Series 3 and below. Before there was Sam Wilson and Surtur, before there was Rocket and Groot and Red Guardian, and even before Thanos and Galactus, this is what we had to play with, and the list has grown a little over time as series drops have added more cards to Series 3, but this is a really cool sort of throwback format as well, because it brings me back to 2 years ago when Series 1, 2, and 3 were the only cards in the game. So here is what I came up with for this event. So to kick this off, we are actually going to play with the deck that got me Infinite the first season that Series 4 and Series 5 were introduced to the game. We can armor in Vormir, so that's a nice little gotcha. What's interesting is if I play Invisible Woman here, I won't have a great spot for Professor X. But I could still do like Invisible Woman, Omega Red, Iron Man stuff over here. I could try to snipe Vormir with Professor X instead, or I could just play Armor this turn. I think we're still going to lead with Invisible Woman so we can show off our dinosaur. I got 2 dinosaurs in this deck, never picked up Dino Iron Man. Oh, you know what? We could throw Lizard into the big house from here. That's probably the best play. All right, cool. Yeah, they're going to be getting some good value out of... Oh, never mind. Cloning Vats is for me now again. That's pretty funny. Spectrum is a big come up here. Let's go with Omega Red now. I think we're looking to draw something like Captain America next turn. Yeah, this is really funny. So now I could Professor into Cloning Vats. Though I cannot Destroyer into Vormir. I don't hate the Professor here. And then the plan is probably to Spectrum. I don't know, it's not that many points here. Not exactly sure what I'm going for just yet, to be totally honest, but I think we can snap. We've got Spectrum and Destroyer, and we're battling for Vormir this turn, with the possibility that we could also use Spectrum to get more points into Vormir. Yeah, we let them sneak something into Vormir here. That's a little bit awkward. Magic! Ooh, that is actually great for me. Oh, that is so good, because it does not win, and it gives me the opportunity to play more cards. So now I could go Iron Man plus Spectrum next turn, or I could just do something like Spectrum this turn, potentially Spectrum again next turn, or possibly even like Iron Man and then just like a random armor. I think I like that. Iron Man's going to be a ton of points in Cloning Vats. I don't love that they are completely shrouded in mystery here. I could also just slam down a Destroyer into Cloning Vats next turn.
Knowledge is power.
And now, so if we don't think they're going to Shang-Chi, they're actually pretty limited for what they can even do here. So this represents 9 points into Cloning Vats and plays around Shang-Chi. This represents 16 points into Cloning Vats, kills my Lizard, which they have to play for this turn, but cements my Omega Red victory if they don't have Shang-Chi. It's a magic deck. Magic plus Rogue kind of reads control to me, so I'm a little bit fearful of this. They're not going to have another Rogue. They could have an Enchantress, at which point Spectrum is just my best play. I think we double Spectrum here. There's a lot of things that my opponent could be doing. They are going for the big house, so Destroyer could have gotten some value there, but let's see what they have in Cloning Vats. Ooh, it is a Silver Surfer Gambit. That's going to take care of my Lizard. And then they've got a Silver Surfer coming through right here in the cloning bats. Only one Silver Surfer, though, that we have to deal with, plus Hazmat with Luke Cage. And then what is to finish it off? Odin. No, they do have another Silver Surfer, but that's not going to be enough in Limbo. We're going to beat them by 1 point in Limbo, 7-6. How? Oh, wow! We're no longer winning Omega Red. Oh, that was so crucial. We lost by exactly 1 point. This seems like a reasonable start for the game because we can curve out into the raft. Destroyer needs a Cosmo or a Professor X in the raft to finish off. We hit either of those, we're in a good spot. I'm not going to snap back, though, just yet. We'll see what else happens here. Lizard's going to encourage them to play here, though Muir Island will encourage them to play over here. So that is an interesting... I think I want to curve out into the raft, though. Let's play Colossus in the raft. All right, they're going for Muir Island anyways. They are ignoring our raft here, potentially going to let me have it. No more 1-cost cards in the deck, so it's going to take 2 more plays to fill this up. And we can't play Cap this turn, but we can cap off the raft with a Professor, and then on the final turn drop Destroyer and a free 6-cost card. I feel like that's probably going to be enough. I could see wanting to play Cap here next turn and then finish off with Professor. Sure, so let's get some more points over into Muir. Yeah, they're definitely battling for Muir. Their 4-cost card is Wong. Okay. Don't know what else other people are playing just yet in this format, but Cap is looking good. They're going to magic me out of Limbo, which is a bit of a bummer. But this will still shore up this location. And Iron Man and Muir Island is also pretty good. They are going to shrink the Lizard. I do think I want to lock them out of Limbo, though. I could also do this. Maybe this is fine. But I do want to play this Destroyer. So let's protect all these cards. I guess I could have played Destroyer right here, too. This is fine for now. White Tiger, not going to get to go into Limbo. We've won that location, but you can get a bunch of Tigers over in the Icebox if you'd like. I don't really need to play Spectrum. What I need is a big Destroyer over in Muir Island, and then the final turn is going to be Iron Man plus either Invisible Woman or Armor is the plan. It'd be cool to drop double dinos if I had the Dino Iron Man. Came out with a cool Iron Man this season too. Ooh, there's their Iron Man. There's a car Iron Man in the current season pass. That's pretty insane. But Destroyer's looking pretty big. And then here is the Armor, which will protect me from Shang-Chi while also giving me a ridiculous amount of points over here. I'm not sure what they could have. Like, Odin does not do anything. Patriot barely does anything either. So how are they going to get more points out? This is Mystique for Iron Man, but I think we are just bigger. So we are able to get it done there. Ironheart, not quite going to grow him, and we're able to grab the win. Throw out that Colossus emote. We're going even further back with this one. Classic Discard is, I think, one of the first decks that I ever hit Infinite with. So we'll see what we can do with this one today. I think Sinister London plus Dracula and Apocalypse is just enough to snap. I'm just now realizing Swordmaster does not do what I need it to in this deck. It discards Blade and Moon Knight, and that's it. So we will remove it from the deck if we play a second game. But for right now, we're in for this one. Sanctum Sanctorum. Okay, Colleen Wing could discard Swordmaster, but it would also discard our Gambit, so I don't want to go for that right now. We can hold some cards for turns 5 and 6. So I'm fine just chilling for a moment. Turn 4 Dracula. This is actually a little bit enticing. but I don't want to discard Dracula. So, non-starter. Could have played Swordmaster there. It would have potentially discarded something real, though, too. All right, time to start playing the game. It's turn 4. Myself and my opponent are yet to make a play, but we'll see if that changes here. That means I cannot play Gambit, so Gambit might just gotta go. We are not really taking priority super aggressively with this line, though, either, which is funny. So if we play Moon Knight, discard Apocalypse and Colleen Wing, then the final turn we're playing Swordmaster and Gambit to finish discarding our entire hand. This all seems fine to me. Moon Knight's going to take some cards from my opponent too. Maybe take their Shang-Chi, because this will come down before a Serra flips up. Yeah, I mean, if they had Serra, Sinister London, that could be a reason to just not play until the final turn. We take their Enchantress, and we take my Apocalypse again, taking their Shang-Chi. Nice. Okay, exactly. Black Panther is actually a little spooky, though. And we don't have priority to Gambit, said Black Panther. Well, we can still try to Gambit it afterwards. And then the question from there is, do we want to play just Swordmaster, discarding Blade, or do I want to play Colleen Wing and Blade? That's more points and just straight up better. Yeah, we're going to hope to discard my entire hand here. There's something a little bit interesting in that, like, we could force discard my entire hand by playing it like this. Blade discards Hellcow, Colleen discards Swordmaster, then both Gambits take out Apocalypse, and then both Draculas get to grab Apocalypse. I think that might be slightly better, slightly less RNG. Here's the Arnim Zola. There's going to be some wackiness if Arnim Zola, yeah, it's going to hit another Black Panther here, and then we're going to get to destroy 2 of my opponent's cards. Could be Arnim Zolas, could be Black Panthers, and we're going to have 1 large Apocalypse, but we really need to hit this Black Panther right here. This lane we've already won, but this Black Panther's got to go, or we've got to take out both of these ones. Let's see. Never fail me, Gambit. Okay. And we can still win it. No, that is not the one that we needed. So we are going to, wait, this is so close. Wait a second, I actually win this location. That is crazy. Apocalypse is so huge. I did not realize I was gonna have more than 40 power, 50 power from Morbius plus Dracula. There we go. Discard can still get it done. For my third deck, I'm thinking of doing something a little bit spicier. And I realized that both Shuri and Sauron are now Series 3, which this is not a deck that I think can typically compete at the highest levels, but when everyone else is brought down in power level considerably, I'm just double checking that this is a Series 3 card. There we go, yeah. So if everybody else is brought down in power level, I wonder if this deck can actually compete. We're gonna have to cut a number of these cards from the final deck. Actually, it might just be Starbrand here. How else is everything else looking? This is a Series 3 card now. There's no easy way to do this. Series 3. I don't even know if this is the best way to build this deck, to be totally honest. Yeah, this obviously counts. Red Skull, Typhoid Mary, all of these should be solid. So this is just an interesting combo of cards. It probably does want to be a Zabu deck, right? Just because that allows you a little bit more flexibility with your Shuri. Let me think on this. By let me think on this, I'll be honest, I'm just checking out Untapped to see if they have any suggestions, and the 2 ideas that I'm seeing are, well, this one actually seems like a pretty good idea to me. Vision. You go Shuri into Vision into Taskmaster, and you get to create 2 big cards that are tough, sort of, for your opponent to predict where they're going to be on the final turn. That gives you a little bit more possibilities for dodging Shang-Chi. This could also include Cosmo, though I think the deck isn't playing Cosmo because it's not a great combo with Sauron. But I do think Cosmo could be reasonable in this format. What is Nimrod? What series is Nimrod now? Nimrod is also Series 3. So that is another interesting angle to take this deck if we want to go even crazier. Destroy, by the way, is now only missing X-23, which is still a Series 4 card and a pretty important card to the deck, but I did not realize Null is now a Series 3 card, which is pretty great for new players to be able to basically build this entire deck, and then you can spend some tokens on X-23 and you'll have a really fun and really competitive deck. So yeah, I mean, I'm not super interested in playing a worse version of it in this tournament, but that's pretty great. How does the game react to if we just say, make me a Nimrod deck? How does this one look? So yeah, a few of these things we aren't going to be able to do. No Galactus, no Symbiote Spider-Man. Those are big ways to pump up a Nimrod. However, Shuri Nimrod does still seem pretty cool. Nico's got to be a higher series card. Yeah. But we could maybe use this. I don't know if I really like Electro. I'd have to think on that. But I do like the idea of making a bunch of Nimrods from Shuri. And I wonder if there's a way to combine these decks. I don't think that's the angle. But this could also be a Black Panther deck. That gives me a second thing to do with Arnim Zola, and gives me Electro into Black Panther into Arnim Zola. I mean, that makes me feel like I just want Odin in the deck. And now I've got a silly way to go over the top of some people. We're doing it live here. Deathlock. So we have like multiple high-end curves. Null Arnim Zola is interesting. Feels like it's lacking a little bit. Maybe it's just lacking Shang-Chi. Okay, let's try this. Oh, I think I played this opponent. Curve in this one pretty high. Monster Island. All right, we're gonna want to set up an Avengers compound because this is where we'll need to play our Arnim Zola. But this could work if we draw Arnim Zola next turn. Or if we draw Arnim Zola by turn 5, this could work. Or if we draw Arnim Zola by turn 6, this could work. Also trying to think about, do we Arnim Zola over the monster into Washington, D.C.? I don't think that'll ever be relevant. Let's just play Magic. Just gives us a lot more flexibility. We'll see how it works here. Ooh, Wong. Yeah, Wong certainly could have been in this deck too, couldn't it have been? Alright, I think we're both gonna Panther each other. Them having Wong into Panther. No Mystique, Wong Mystique. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Well, I'm certainly doing this, and then I'm playing Odin. I think. The only other thing I could do... Oh, I still haven't snapped? Yeah. Alright. Thanks for the reminder. There we go. Yeah, we've drawn our card here now, so we can definitely accept the snap. We'll see what my opponent has got going on here, though. This could be something a little bit spooky. Wong Mystique. Okay, yeah, they also have the Black Panther. So we have priority. I think we just Shang-Chi that punk. And that's going to be it. We can only make one play here. But that's the play. That's why we played Shang-Chi. All right. Sorry, Arnim Zola. But we got you. And this will actually be a cosmic victory even as they're going to have a Wong and a Mystique at the other two locations, and Shang-Chi is big enough to win the Avengers compound. Got to play one more, actually, because I realized that was against the same opponent as the previous round. Ooh, Dark Dimension could be pretty spicy for Nimrod. I'm not willing to snap just yet, but I think we're very, very close. Zabu is a good start for my opponent, though. Could just mean we could Shang-Chi Arnim Zola over in Dark Dimension, and all of that is pretty powerful. I think there's no reason not to just Carnage in Dark Dimension to start. What this allows me to do is play Nimrod and then Arnim Zola the Nimrod before the final turn, or on the final turn, and then get it into Dark Dimension where Carnage will send it again. So that's an interesting option there too. Ooh, Spider Island just means we'll have to set up in Atlantis now. Black Panther, Arnim Zola. High curve on this deck for sure. And my opponent's going to get to drop a 4-cost card here. Could be Wong, could be Mr. Negative, though that's not going to be a Mr. Negative. Magic into Spider Island seems like the most obvious play for now. Neither of us are going to be using Atlantis. Though we can win Spider Island easily, I can't play Magic here and then do other setup stuff here, so kind of just have to Magic Spider Island. Although that would be an interesting way, hold on. That would be an interesting way to get Nimrod into Dark Dimension before the final turn, but I still think it's probably not the angle I want to go for. Okay. A lot of magicians in this game mode. People doing silly Black Panther shenanigans. Which might just mean, like, in general, we're kind of not in the best position because other people are going to be doing Wonging and we're not. Black Panther Arnim Zola now looking pretty sus. I think I'm just going to Nimrod here for now, but I certainly don't love it. Yeah, now the plan has got to be Arnim Zola from here. And then I'm hoping to draw Deathlock and then Venom. Though Venom plus Shang-Chi could also be interesting for the final turn. Awkwardly, if they're just doing full setups in Dark Dimension, then I'm a little bit in an awkward spot from that. Okay. So they are surfing. So what I see here is I can go Deathlock, Venom. Okay. Or they're going to retreat. Fair enough, fair enough. Writing on the wall there a little bit, and we didn't snap because I was concerned about what else was going on. I like playing a full match, though. That's fun. Nice way to end the video. Magic again. Yeah, Silver Surfer or Wong could have been in the Dark Dimension last game, and we're not really sure. Cloning Vats Venom plus Magic. I think we've got enough stuff here to snap. You just get to make huge Venoms in Cloning Vats. So this is like... it's not really even anything super crazy. I think what we're doing is probably turning off Madripoor, because if they play a Brood here, they just get an extra 6 points on it, which I don't love. I do see that we can make a bigger Nimrod there, but I think I need to use Cloning Vats. Okay, Cloning Vats is gone. Goodbye, Cloning Vats. This still gives me a pretty solid curve out, though, of Shuri into Nimrod into Venom Deathlock. And then Null. So, still like this curve. We're doing what our deck want to do. Final turn could also be, you know, Shang-Chi plus Carnage or something. Though this is not really a Shang-Chi-able deck, to be totally honest. Could be Venom plus Shang-Chi now on the final turn. So a lot of flexibility there. Yeah, not a Shang-Chi deck. Odin for Venom. Huh. Does that get me anywhere fun? If I do this, then this, and then Odin the Venom, just because it seems interesting. Possibly. Start with this. I think we're starting with that regardless there. Sarah Mystique. They're going to get to drop a bunch of cards on the final turn. And they are looking to Odin as well. Excuse me. Now they are mostly battling for this center location. I feel like this is just a ton of points in a way that's pretty tough. Like, this has got to be a better play than just dropping a null somewhere, right? But is it a better play than just playing Carnage here? I don't actually even think it is. Fortunately, we can't Carnage plus Null or anything super fancy, so it's really just like 3 more. Oh, but Carnage removes the points from Clintar. So I guess I also have to think about, where do I want these points? Do I want points in Limbo? A little bit afraid of like a Shadow King, but not really super afraid. I mean, just because it's a Sarah deck. They could have Shadow King, they could have Shang-Chi. I don't really see it, though. Honestly, I feel like this will just win the game. I think they're just going to play an Odin here. I mean, they have more plays that they get to do. They get to fill their whole board. They get to brood something else. Can't be Sebastian. But we're just going to dodge this location, give it to him for free. And then say they got to put up 50 points here. Absorbing Man, Silver Surfer, sure. And then another 3-cost card here. Psylocke, and then Odin. Odin is only, even if all the points go here, another 12 points in Limbo. Yeah, it's just not big enough. Not big enough for my full combo. And it wasn't their full combo, to be fair. They did not Wong me this game, but I guess Wong is the only card from this list that we haven't seen. Yeah, they're playing Zabu, so they got to be playing Wong, and they're going to give it up. So there we go. That is going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this look into Marvel Snap's past. But for today, that's going to be it for me. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.